Levels of exhaustion. Part 3.
Let's do it.
Want to get rid of your levels of exhaustion for good?
Perfect. Here's how.
I'm Ben.
I'm Max.
And this is D&D Ideas. Sometimes we talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Sometimes we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and life.
Either way, we always talk about ideas.
If you're in the mood for something a little different than the D&D videos you're used to, we got you.
Today's D&D Ideas is on the intersection between D&D and life.
As we've said, Dungeons and Dragons isn't just a game we love, it's also a tool that Ben and I use to help us make sense of our lives.
It's more fun for us to talk about our thoughts in terms of spells, life in terms of adventure, and chance as that ever-present 20-sided dice rattling just out of sight.
It's like Thomas More says, slight shifts in imagination can have more impact on living than major efforts of change.
Slight shifts in imagination, like framing the things we go through in terms of the game we love. It's helped us, and maybe it'll help you too.
There's a lot of things they don't tell you about being a lich. Minions and miniatures are hard to keep track of. They take up a lot of space and money. The copays are ridiculous, and they're far more fragile than you expect. Weak ankles. But thank the dark powers, I found tactical tokens. Do I love them? Lich, please. They're stackable, right-onable, and much easier to keep track of on a battlefield. Tactical tokens, the best-kept secret of necromancers and game masters everywhere. Lichin ain't easy, but choosing tactical tokens is. Until next time!
Welcome to part 3 of our series on exhaustion. Hope the subject hasn't been too tiresome.
Oh, facepalm. Today, we wrap up this series, tie a neat little bow around it, and give you something to remember it by.
If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, you can and should do that there.
There's no review or rewind on this video. It's onward and upward.
Ben and I, in part 2, talked about the things you can do to help you get out of your real-life exhaustion levels.
It was our attempt at teaching you to actually cast Greater Restoration.
Before getting to today's treat, gotta give Ben some love.
Well, thank you. I mean, I really do work hard on these. I thank the Academy for this award.
Not you, buddy. Ben Franklin. He
course.
said, and as my bald spot proves, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
The truth is, it's possible to end up stuck treading water in an endless cycle of burnout and recovery. Burnout, recovery, burnout, recovery.
You can heal the symptoms without affecting the causes of burnout.
And doing so, it's a lot like trying to deal with a gunshot wound with gauze.
There's no question getting rid of your levels of exhaustion is important.
If you've got any, it's probably the most important.
After you lessen your allostatic load, it's wise to think about how to address the causes of your exhaustion.
Burnout has 6 widely recognized triggers: lack of control, values conflict, insufficient reward, unfairness, lack of community, and work overload.
And unless you do something to affect what led you to getting those levels of exhaustion in the first place, it's safe to assume you'll get them again.
Max and I want to give you some examples of what this might look like.
Feelings of not having much autonomy or control and being micromanaged have been clinically proven to lead to exhaustion.
At the workplace, addressing this might look like talking to your superiors or switching departments to get away from that boss who might be micromanaging you.
More meta, it also might mean adjusting your self-talk, which, incidentally, is what our next D&D Ideas is about.
If a major conflict in values is leading to your exhaustion levels, the fix for that might be more severe.
It could mean going where the climate suits your clothes, finding an environment more aligned with your beliefs.
Maybe this is finding a different job, getting out of a relationship or friend group, or cutting ties with a community.
If those aren't options, you can attempt to reframe your situation and connect to a larger sense of purpose or how you help others.
Feeling undercompensated, like the reward you're getting isn't worth the effort you're giving, might mean it's time to ask for that raise.
In the context of a relationship, it might mean talking to the other people in that relationship about how you're feeling and what you need.
Because remember, feeling like you're being treated unfairly is another burnout trigger.
Who among us knows not the sting of group work and feeling like you're being taken advantage of?
Fun facts about group projects. There's something called the group work bias. And here's the gist. Everyone thinks they contribute more than everyone else.
It goes like this. If you were to ask every member of a group what percentage of work they individually do, and then add up everyone's numbers, it's gonna be way more than 100%.
Meaning we all tend to overvalue our own contribution and undervalue everyone else's.
Open, honest conversations about who's doing what can help prevent burnout.
Work overload is another cause. Time off is one prevention, but be careful.
While time off is always the easy answer, it isn't always the right answer. Sometimes asking for help is a better fix.
And trust me, as someone who's adopted the tenets of self-destruction, I know how hard this can be.
The final trigger before getting to our well-earned reward has to do with community.
Being connected to people you care about and who genuinely care about you helps fight burnout.
Slaving away for a group of people you don't care about and who don't care about you is a quick way to pick up a level of exhaustion.
Addressing this cause might mean finding greener pastures or taking steps to foster a better sense of community in the pastures you already graze.
Thank you for sticking with us through all the heady stuff.
And we know that taking good care of yourself and mental health aren't always the sexiest Dungeons and Dragons topics to talk about.
But they are important, and Ben and I wanted to use the game we love to do our part.
Speaking of the game we love, let's have a little fun. May we introduce to you our very first, very own homebrewed subclass.
Little known fact, the entire idea for this series on exhaustion came from a conversation between Ben and I.
You see, we believe that people have classes.
Ben here, he's a paladin, and during a particularly tough stretch, we joked that Ben was a paladin of self-destruction and that he swore the oath of the martyr.
And we laughed, but then we got to thinking, what if that were a real class?
So we reached out to our good friend Ed Robinson, lead developer at Layer Magazine, for help with the designing and balancing.
And here is our tongue-in-cheek, 100% playable paladin subclass that might hit a little too close to home for all of us people-pleasers and self-avowed group project saviors.
Those who swear the oath of the martyr put other people's needs ahead of their own and abide by the 5 tenets of self-destruction.
No, it's fine, everything is fine. I'm the only one who can do it right. Help is for the weak, what other people think matters a lot, and death over disappointment.
Having decided other people are more important than yourself, you get to add Bane and False Life to your spell list at 3rd level.
Blindness, deafness, and enhanceability come at level 5.
At level 7, you can move real fast while muttering despicable things about others. Muttering because you'd never want to give anyone a reason not to like you.
Nothing like stone skin to help keep all those inconvenient emotions and pesky needs safe inside, while you move about freely pretending you're okay to the outside world.
Finally, at 17th level, you're able to do some much needed healing, and also some duplicitous dabbling.
Here's where things get fun. Choose this paladin subclass and you'll get the standard 2-channel divinity options with a little something extra on the side.
Who wants to turn undead when you can instead force them and their fiend friends to attack you and not your friends?
Or use your channel divinity to enter a minute-long, hyper-focused, super productive state of senseless disregard for your own safety.
In a nod to this video series, Oath of the Martyr Paladins are able to gain extra uses of channel divinity. All it costs is an action and a level of exhaustion.
But those aren't the only things you'll get at 3rd level when you take this oath. Turns out becoming the martyriest of martyrs comes with a bit of a cost.
Due to your intense desire to please others, especially those in positions of authority, it's really hard for you to say no.
As in, if someone you like or want to impress asks you to do something, it's a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage hard.
Oh, and since help is for the weak and communicating your needs is a no-no, you don't get to benefit from the help action, and you've got to make a charisma save if you want to ask for any help.
At 7th level, you get an aura of self-sacrifice. It lets you use your reaction to take on the conditions of your allies, thereby sparing them the effects.
A 15th level martyr gains another use for their reaction. They can use it to make a single weapon attack against whomever had the gall to hit them in the first place.
And finally, at 20th level, a paladin of the Oath of the Martyr gets to go all Goku Super Saiyan Savior. In this state, you have resistance to all damage, your aura of self-sacrifice gets better, and you can't be knocked unconscious.
The PDF is down there. Have at it, it's free, it's yours, it's fun, and at least we think it's funny. Enjoy.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today.
We really do appreciate it.
Just like we'd really appreciate a comment or a thumbs up, or tell us what you think of the Oath of the Martyr Paladin down in the comments.
Is there a D&D idea you'd like us to talk about? Great, we'd love to. Cast sending.
Our email address is also down there.
If this kind of thing is your jam, subscribe. Tell a friend. To everyone who does and has, thank you. You are how we as a channel level up.
Dispel that glyph of warding around your notification bell so you don't miss your turn on our next video. Until next time, adventurers, keep on climbing until you reach your peak.
Bless you.
Cough.
I thought it was a sneeze.
My
Whatever.
throat's dry.
I bless people who cough. That's just the kind of person I am.
Little sip, little cuppa. My God, Nancy. Like if someone you want to, if someone you like or want, Paladin of the Oath of the Martyr gets to Goku, what? Goku Super Saiyan to Goku Super Savior. Super Savior. Goku Super Saiyan Super Savior.
I liked it.
That's all right. Boy, we did it.
Yeah, man.